Fiddler's Green, the place where people with no family and very bad management of their funds would end up as a retirement home. Today we'll be finding the power armor, the hidden bunker, and listening to the creepy tapes of the new squirrel. This place is crawling with ghouls, so do bring some shotguns or close quarters, or laser pistols. They don't like any of them. Either unlock the leasing office terminal, which will then in turn unlock the safe, or just pick the safe. Either way, you need the key inside. There's also nothing of note on the terminal except the ability to unlock the safe. Once you do, you can get the Fiddler Green trailer key. Pick up the Squirrel Tape 1. We'll have a listen to them all at the end, and we'll want to head straight on over to this particular trailer. Inside will be a random assortment of power armor. You could get quite lucky. It seems a soldier held up here for quite some time. There's also some mines outside the front door. They're not in my game, the despawn, so bear that in mind. You might have to disarm them or run away quite quickly. If you want to be super sneaky, you can of course get into the power armor via this way, although that kind of means that you're stuck inside of the trailer with no good way out, so I would highly recommend you do not try that. Let's get the magazine up next. One of the strangest bonuses in the game, you permanently gain 25% extra XP from persuading women. Not that you gain that much to begin with. I guess if you're just a collector like me and you want all the magazines, you may as well pick up the Secretary Charmer. Now that we've got that, we can pick up the next squirrel tape 3 over here. There is a trailer that contains a glowing one. These two just have some sparse items about them, but this one over here, this is where things get good. Firstly, take out the glowing one, and you'll be able to claim the bounty of whatever is inside the steamer trunk. But that's not all. We'll get the final tape and then visit the bunker. And when I say bunker, there's a certain distress signal that is bringing you to this area. The distress signal comes from Relay Tower 0BB. When you activate it, you can have a listen and someone is clearly looking for some help, which you can of course provide. Going inside, we can see that on top has a kind of radio antenna of sorts connected to a terminal. The terminal, however, has nothing on it. It's completely wiped, but there is a stealth boy. Makes you wonder who on earth is transmitting the signal. But if we go over to the final trailer here, we can pick up ourselves Tape 2. It's got a pretty gruesome storyline to it, so when we listen to them all at the end here, you'll get the picture. As for the bunker, it's well hidden right here amongst the trees. I'm sure I'm going to hear some gasps of people who may have not known of its existence. Once inside, though, there's just plenty of items, and it seems this settler was holed up in here. Also a tiny wee safe. Look at it, it's cute looking. Anyway, open the safe, and if you turn off the ham radio, the signal will, of course, disappear. Now, let's head on out of the bunker. And I'm going to walk us to some unmarked locations whilst we have a listen to the new squirrel. Starting off with Tape 1.
Hello, my name is Storytime Simon, and I hope you like stories, because I love to tell stories. This one is called The New Squirrel. Come with me on this magical adventure. There once was a young squirrel named Ricky who lived in a big oak tree in a city park. Ricky was a brown squirrel and lived in the oak tree with all his brown squirrel friends and family. Every day, Ricky would look out from the top of his tree and wonder what kind of squirrels lived in other trees. The older squirrels warned Ricky that the squirrels in other trees were thieves and liars. They were never to be trusted. Ricky had a rebellious heart and would not form his opinions based on anecdotal evidence. End of holotape. Please insert holotape 2.
This little unmarked location is the Arc Jet Stash. As you can imagine, it is located just south of Arc Jet Systems. Next, I'll take you up to a little rocket bunker and then on to Bethany's lab. We'll do so as we're listening to this tape.
Storytime Simon here. Welcome back. And here it is, part 2 of The New Squirrel. One night, a red squirrel appeared at the bottom of Ricky's oak tree and woke Ricky and his family. "Oh, please help me," said the red squirrel. "I am lost and have nowhere to go." The elders were quick to turn the red squirrel away, but Ricky scurried down the trunk of his tree and stood firm next to the red squirrel. He yelled up at the elder squirrels. How could you turn him away? Just because he's from another tree? He needs our help. Affected by Ricky's assuredness and determination, the elders agreed to take in the red squirrel. The red squirrel thanked Ricky for standing up for him. You won't regret this, he said. End of holotape. Please insert holotape 3.
Dawson, by the way, there, the propane store is part of the Sentinel Creation Club, in case anyone's wondering why you only find a raider there in your own playthrough. This is Bethany, so we'll have a wee look at her as we listen to holotape 3.
Storytime Simon here with the exciting conclusion to The New Squirrel. Tomorrow we can get to know each other and become best friends, said Ricky to the red squirrel. The red squirrel made a sound that Ricky took for agreement, and the two squirrels curled up to sleep. Later that night, Ricky woke up to the sound of leaves rustling in the oak tree. He looked around. The red squirrel was gone. Ricky surveyed the landscape below and saw a pack of glowing eyes approaching the base of his tree. Cats! Ricky heard a voice from a nearby tree. It was the red squirrel. I'm sorry, he said. They were following me and I couldn't bring them to my tree. They would have eaten my family. As the cats ascended the tree and began to devour Ricky's friends and family, Ricky reflected on his decisions. His last words were, I really wish I would have trusted my elders. The end.
So as you can tell from Storytime Simon, it was a wee bit of anti-communist propaganda, of course. The red squirrel, red, communism, China. But yeah, essentially the red squirrel got let in, and the cats were obviously following him, and they killed all the Ricky's families. So it's basically to say, listen to the government, listen to, the United States military, elders essentially, and not to trust the red squirrel, the red menace, communists. We have here Carhenge, another place where after level 20 you'll find a behemoth. Bethany's lab we also passed, and the little tractor shed for a fusion core. Hopefully you learned not only a story about trusting the red menace, but you also got some unmarked locations along our little journey there from Fiddler's Green. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch us all in the next one.